In this lesson, I want to look at the topic of company teams. This is a form of additional security that can be applied to users who would normally be able to see the same information. So it's very much to do with controlling access for users who are in the same territory and have overlap on rights to access company and person information. Here we are looking at the administration screens. I've logged on as a system administrator. I've navigated into the administration area. I'm looking at users, and now I'm going to search for a particular user called Matthew Ebden. You can see that I've found Matthew Ebden's screen, and I'm going to retrieve his user records. Looking at his user record, I click Change, and there are three fields that I want to examine and consider the settings. If we look down here, we can see that there are restrict sensitive info, restrict updates, and company team rights of update, insert, and delete. What these rights are doing is that they are setting that the user is governed by sensitivity. And sensitivity is a topic associated with tabs. Now, what this means inside the experience for the user is the user is barred from accessing certain information that is marked as sensitive. Now here you can see that Matthew Ebden, and you can notice that I've logged on as the user Matthew Ebden, is inside the UK territory. If I search for a company record, I might find a particular company record called Acancia, which is also inside the UK territory. So this is very clearly a record that Matthew Ebden should be able to access, should be able to see and have control of. But interestingly, the actual company of Acancia doesn't belong to Matthew Ebden. It's not been assigned to him. It belongs to a user called Peter Johnson in this case. Now Peter Johnson is in exactly the same territory. And if I look at the company Acancia, we navigate to the summary screen here, we can see that that's the case. So Peter Johnson is the account manager for the company Acancia Limited, and it's inside the UK territory. So clearly this looks like it is data that the user, Matthew Ebden, should be able to access. And we can see that there are all the tabs that we would normally expect, like the Opportunities tab or the Communications tab, that a user should be able to see. But the user, Matthew Ebden, is governed by this company team rules. So if I, as Matthew Ebden, try and access Acancia, although I can access the summary record, you will see that certain information is marked as no entry, indicating that I do not have rights to access that particular item of data. And this is going to affect every item of data underneath the company and person because I am not part of that company team. I can be added to the company team by the owner, but the effect of what I can do because I'm not on the company team is quite profound. You can see here, for example, I'm looking at this record, I can see it, but I can't edit the company details. So it's something that is very controlling, and it's outside of the regular security profile settings. The owner of the account, in this case it's Peter Johnson, is also set up so that they can add additional people to the company team. And we see here a company team tab, and if I click on the company team tab, I can choose to add an additional person into that team that manages the company. So I can choose to say that Matthew Ebden should be able to work with me on this account. And this is a type of security then that is passed over to the users so they can decide who is working with them with the company team. If I return back now, that will have had an immediate effect, and so as Matthew Ebden accesses the record again, and it's affected not only the access to the underlying data associated with the company, but we can see as well that the record allows me to change the information. If I want to understand which tabs which were marked as sensitive, then I need to go back into the administration screen. So this is something under the control of the administrator. So we see the idea of restrict access to sensitive information. Well, this is down to the customization of the tabs associated with the company and the person record. So anything that's underneath the company. So I come down to look at the company, and I mark and I click on the tabs area here. So I've come into administration, customization, company, and I look at the company tab group, and we can see that the tabs such as the quick look are marked as sensitive. If I look at opportunities, which was the first item I tried to access, and it rejected my access into that as Matthew Ebden, I couldn't because I had no permission to look at that. We can see that the reason it was like that is that it was marked as sensitive. And that sensitivity applies if I am removed from the company team. So the owner of the account can add or remove people from the company team, other users from the company team. And if I confirm the removal from the company team, it means that back here now, if Matthew Ebden tries to look at Peter Johnson's record of Acacia, the no entry signs appear again. So that then is the idea of team sensitivity, tab sensitivity, and company teams within Sage CRM. And that's all to do with the setup and control of the users inside Sage CRM.